country on the road is your country, Mr. Ambassador, is the country of Kazakhstan. Kazakhstan was not so well known here in Belgium, especially during the Soviet Union years, as it was part of the Soviet Union, and we were looking more at the western part of the Soviet Union. But your country is playing a very important role. It has also enormous resources, and we thought it would be of utmost interest to have you speaking us about your country. Let me briefly introduce you, Mr. Vassilenko. You are Ambassador Extraordinary and Plenipotentiary of the Republic of Kazakhstan to the Kingdom of Belgium. You are also the head of the mission of the Republic of Kazakhstan to the European Union and to the North Atlantic Treaty Organization, to the NATO. You graduated with honors from the Military Academy of Economics, Finance and Law of the Armed Forces of the Russian Federation in 1994. You began your professional career as a senior specialist at the International Department of the Administration of the President of the Republic of Kazakhstan. You also worked at the Office of the Prime Minister of your country and with other organizations. At the Ministry of Foreign Affairs of your country, you were chairman of the Committee for International Information. You held various diplomatic positions at the embassies of Kazakhstan in the United Kingdom, in the United States of America. You have been ambassador of Kazakhstan to Slovakia. You have been deputy minister of foreign affairs of Kazakhstan. And you have been in Belgium now since a few years, quite recently. You are fluent in English, in French, in Slovak, but also in Vietnamese, which shows also interest of you for Asian countries. So, Your Excellency, Mr. Vassilenko, Mr. Ambassador, I leave you the floor. Thank you very much. Mr. Vassilenko.
Sorry. Now you should hear me.
Yes, and we hear you well.
And now you should see me, I guess.
Not yet. We see your name, but not yet. Yes.
Yes, now you can see me. Yes.
We see you very well.
Okay. Thank you very much, Mr. Bernard David, for your kind introduction. It's a great pleasure and honor to be here. And indeed, thank you for thinking of Kazakhstan as a country that, of course, is linking overland China and Europe, because it is indeed the first country that needs to be crossed if you use the most direct way to reach Europe. But let me present you my remarks, and there will be a presentation on screen to accompany my comments. So, Excellencies, distinguished guests, ladies and gentlemen, first of all, again, my appreciation to the Belgian-Chinese Chamber of Commerce for its kind support and organization of this webinar. And given the event's topic, in today's rapidly changing world, expanding cross-regional partnerships has never been more important. As our President Kassym-Jomart Tokayev stated at the Central Asia-European Union Summit in Samarkand, Uzbekistan, in April 2024, our priority must be to strengthen trade and economic cooperation. A key driver of this process is transport connectivity, a vital link that brings our regions closer together and opens new opportunities for growth. It is no coincidence that transport is among the 29 priority areas set out in the Enhanced Partnership and Cooperation Agreement, EPCA, between Kazakhstan and the European Union and its member states. And last December marked the 10 years since the signing of this landmark document. Over the past decade, this agreement has proven to be a strong foundation for advancing Kazakhstan-EU relations in the spirit of constructivism, pragmatism, and mutual benefit. Kazakhstan is advancing the Trans-Caspian International Transport Route, or the Middle Corridor. Active engagement of other countries, such as Turkey, Azerbaijan, and Georgia, has been a key factor in transforming this initiative into a strategic transport artery of the Eurasian connectivity. Today, Kazakhstan and these countries are successfully implementing two roadmaps for the synchronized elimination of bottlenecks and development of the Middle Corridor for 2022-2027, which was signed in 2022. These documents outline coordinated measures to modernize infrastructure, harmonize customs procedures, and enhance the overall efficiency and capacity of the route. Transport is the foundation of economic development of our country. In Kazakhstan, this sector plays a strategic role, accounting for about 7% of GDP. With average GDP growth of 6%, the transport sector accounts for 1.5 percentage points of that growth. And Kazakhstan lies, as you can see on the map, at the very heart of the Middle Corridor. Our country serves as a key transit hub between Europe and Asia. In fact, more than 85% of all land-based east-west, and you can read this as China-Europe, freight traffic crosses Kazakh territory. Over the past decade, Kazakhstan has invested around $35 billion in transport infrastructure, with plans to invest an additional $15 billion by 2030. Today, our national network integrates 13 international transport corridors, including 5 rail and 8 road corridors. You can see them on the map. In the last 5 years, the Middle Corridor has already demonstrated significant growth. Its current capacity stands at 6 million tons per year. By the end of 2024, cargo volumes had increased by 62%, reaching 4.5 million tons. In 2025, this number reached 5.2 million tons, compared to 2.8 million tons in 2023 and only 850,000 tons in 2021. By 2029, we aim to expand the corridor's capacity to 10 million tons annually. To achieve this, Kazakhstan is implementing large-scale railway projects totaling 1,700 kilometers. Last September, 900 kilometers have already been commissioned when President Tokayev inaugurated the second railway track of the Dostik-Mointy section. Dostik is on the border with China, a key segment of the Trans-Caspian route. This new track significantly accelerated cargo movement and created a more efficient and reliable service for shippers and consignees along the corridor. With its launch, we expect transit time across Kazakhstan to be further reduced by nearly 14 hours. In the coming years, Kazakhstan plans to build 5,000 kilometers of new railway lines and renovate an additional 11,000 kilometers. Among the priorities projects are the construction of the Mointy-Kızılzar railway and the modernization of routes leading to the port of Aktau on the Caspian Sea, all of which are integral components of the Trans-Caspian International Transport Route. We are also building new railways from Darbaza to Maktaral towards Uzbekistan and Bakhti-Ayagos towards China, where there will be a third border crossing from China, in addition to the current existing ones. Yes, next slide, please. Next slide. At Dostik. Yes, this one. So you can see there are two border crossings from China at Dostik and Altınkol, which is Horgos on Kazakh side, but slightly to the north there will be a third one at Bakhti. Once completed, these projects will increase the railway throughput to 60 million tons towards Central Asia, 100 million tons towards China, and 150 million tons towards Russia. Equally important is the expansion of our port and terminal network, which ensures the reliability of multimodal transport. Last September, during the New Silk Road Forum in Almaty, a loan agreement between the EBRD and the Port of Aktau was signed to support the port's modernization and sustainability. We are also implementing digital solutions in transport management to make logistics operations faster, safer, and more predictable. To advance these efforts further, in 2023, Kazakhstan, Azerbaijan, and Georgia established a joint company called Middle Corridor Multimodal Limited, which is a platform designed to enhance cooperation among the railway administrations of these three countries. These measures have already reduced the document processing time from 3 hours to just 30 minutes, enabled real-time cargo tracking, and significantly improved logistics performance. As a result, the total delivery time along the Middle Corridor has been reduced to an average of 15 to 18 days from the Chinese border to the Black Sea ports in Georgia, including just 6 days from Xi'an to Aktau. Last August, Chinese partners joined this company, the Middle Corridor Multimodal Limited, as new shareholders. So this partnership creates new opportunities for organizing container shipments from China to Europe and further enhances the efficiency, reliability, and commercial appeal of this route. Taking this opportunity, I would also like to note the positive and truly significant developments unfolding in South Caucasus. I mean, specifically the ongoing process of normalization of relations between Armenia and Azerbaijan, which are of great importance for peace, stability, and the further development of this Middle Corridor. Let me now address terminal infrastructure. Kazakhstan already operates terminals in Lianyungan, as you can see on the map, and Xi'an in China, as well as in Poti in Georgia on the Black Sea. We are now developing new facilities in Tashkent, Uzbekistan, Alat, Azerbaijan, and Hungary, near Budapest, thereby fully covering the east-west axis. Kazakhstan is also developing a container hub in the port of Aktau. Our government is also implementing the project to construct the multifunctional terminal Sarja in the port of Kuryk. These are two ports that Kazakhstan have on the Caspian Sea. They're about 70 kilometers from each other. The port of Aktau is more established one. The port of Kuryk maybe is 15 years old. It's a new port. In 2024, we completed dredging operations at the port of Kuryk, launched a new grain terminal there, and began construction of the Sarja terminal that I mentioned. The completion of the construction of all these facilities of the multifunctional marine terminal Sarja by 2030 will increase the throughput capacity of the Middle Corridor by 10 million tons per year. In 2024, the container hub in the port of Aktau was inaugurated, significantly expanding handling capacity. Let me now address road transportation. To increase the attractiveness of Kazakhstan's transit, we have adopted the following measures. There is a free transit and permission for in-depth transport with China. There is a permit-free transit with Turkmenistan. There is a 24/7 operation of the Nur-Joli border crossing point, and there is an electronic exchange of foreign permit forms with Uzbekistan and China. In 2025, almost 2 billion passengers were transported in Kazakhstan, which is 12.5% more than in December 2024. In 2025, transit cargo traffic reached 37 million tons, a 6.6% increase compared to 2024. And this growth reflects the integrated development of road, rail, air, and water transport, alongside expanded international logistics cooperation. Let me turn to aviation. Kazakhstan's aviation industry is one of the fastest growing in the world and has great potential. Global players operate in the industry. For example, TAV Airport Holding of Turkey operates the Almaty Airport. An agreement has been signed with Terminals Holding regarding the transfer of the capital's airport, meaning Astana. YDA Holding, also of Turkey, is working on creating an aircraft maintenance center, and Hansa is exploring the construction of a border point airport in the Horgos region, right on the border with China. In order to develop aviation hubs based on 6 airports, Astana, Almaty, Shymkent, Karaganda, Aktau, and Aktobe, you see them on the map. These airports have been included in the special economic zones. Our modernization plan regarding the aviation industry includes 5 key measures aimed at upgrading infrastructure and improving the quality of logistics services. It is also worth highlighting the active development of passenger transportation between Kazakhstan and Europe. Currently, Kazakhstan-based airlines run almost 900 domestic weekly flights on 61 routes, but the country also operates international flights to 30 countries on 131 routes, with a frequency of 616 flights a week. In addition, our aviation authorities have prepared to sign the horizontal aviation agreement between our government and the European Union on air transport. And of course, the open skies policy is in effect. Dear participants of this webinar, Kazakhstan is creating all necessary conditions and infrastructure to ensure sustainable and strategic transport connectivity in our region. As a result of the measures we are undertaking, a key achievement of the 2024-2025 season has been the expansion of the export geography of grain crops through entry into new markets. For the first time, deliveries have commenced through the Middle Corridor to several European countries that had not been previously importers of Kazakh grain. In fact, according to our data, in 2025, exports to Belgium amounted to almost 200,000 tons. We never exported grain to Belgium. And just a few weeks ago, we saw a delivery along the Middle Corridor of another agricultural product, and it was faster and cheaper done through the Middle Corridor to the ports in the Black Sea, from where they were the shipment was taken by ships to Antwerpen. But as we can see, the Middle Corridor is evolving beyond a mere transport route. It is becoming a strategic partnership platform that connects economies, technologies, and people. And Kazakhstan stands ready to continue working closely with the European Union, with China, to make this corridor a source of resilience, mutual benefit, and long-term prosperity for all participants. For, according to our vision, China's Belt and Road Initiative, Kazakhstan's, European Union's Global Gateway Initiative are complementing each other. They are complementary, and they are mutually beneficial to us. And as such, we support both of them, and we gladly participate in both of these initiatives and cooperate with both China, the largest shipper of goods along this route, and the European Union. I will stop myself here, and I will be happy to participate in the discussion. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, Mr. Ambassador. Thank you for your expose. I recognize the passionate person who is representing very well a country in full development, as we could see these last years. I was very interested to listen to you explaining how your country is developing its transport facilities. It's one of the many priorities you have. You have detailed the Trans-Caspian route, which is a strategic transport artery for the middle corridor. You have also explained that these last 10 years there were huge investments in the transport sectors. We have now 5 rails and 8 road corridors, and you have given a lot of very precious details on the ports that are playing an important role, the road transportation, the aviation developing. All this can be, of course, used by our companies doing business with your country, but also with China or neighboring countries. Now, ladies and gentlemen, we have also the possibility to ask some questions to Mr. Ambassador through our chat. Don't hesitate to use it. I would like to ask you, Mr. Ambassador, how do you see your country playing a role in developing business with China? Is it we saw since several years now, we have this also a railway corridor. Do you think it will play a more important role, or do you see more still the aviation, the shipping playing a role there? So
thank you so much, dear Mr. David. Yes, well, ever since our independence in 1991, we have worked very well with China on developing our ties. And if trade in 1991 was a mere $200 million, last year it was $41 billion, and Kazakhstan and China became Kazakhstan's largest trading partner, overtaking the European Union, overtaking Russia. We have excellent relationship at the political level. President Xi Jinping of China visited Kazakhstan, I believe, 3 times in the past 4 years, including twice with a state visit. Our president visited Beijing. Our president visited Tianjin for the Shanghai Cooperation Organization Summit. Our president attended the big parade in Beijing in the beginning of September last year. And the relationships between our president, who speaks Chinese, by the way, and who has served in, at that point, the Soviet embassy in Beijing in the 80s, and who understands China very well, are excellent. In fact, it was our president who suggested that we upgrade our relations to, and he did it in Chinese, to the eternal strategic partnership. Both countries enjoy from the visa-free travel, which is in force, I believe, for 3 or 4 years now. And that is a no small thing, because, of course, there is an enormous exchange of people who travel back and forth, not just to the neighboring regions in China, but to Beijing, to Shanghai, to Hong Kong, etc. We see these connections expanding. We see Chinese investments in Kazakhstan expanding. China is not only one of the largest oil producers in Kazakhstan, but China is also considered a potential partner for the construction of the nuclear power stations in Kazakhstan. We will be building in the next 10 years 3 such nuclear power stations in Kazakhstan after our people decided in favor of the construction of such NPPs. And generally, we see that this trade is expanding, the economic cooperation is expanding, the educational cooperation is expanding. There are several so-called Lu-Ban workshops in Kazakhstan where Kazakh students get higher education in technical specialties. So I think the relations are excellent. They are developing in a very, very intensive way, and I'm sure we will see more and more of such cooperation in the future.
I have another question, Mr. Ambassador. We all follow now the news. We see that there's a huge crisis in the Middle East, and that could create a lot of problems also with the fact that we receive a lot of oil and gas from this region. Your country is very rich in natural resources. Could your country increase eventually exports of gas, for instance, to our countries here in Europe?
Mm-hmm. Thank you so much. Well, Kazakhstan is currently producing around 95 million tons of oil per year. We have plans to expand this, of course, to more than 100 million tons this year. We are part of the OPEC Plus discussions, and just last week, our country also participated in the decision in the expansion of production by OPEC Plus countries. Of course, we are concerned with this crisis. We, of course, observe its impact on global economic markets, including its impact on oil prices. That is something that doesn't give us much comfort because these spikes are not healthy in the long term. But what I can say is that we are indeed a very large country, the largest landlocked country in the world at the same time. So we depend on transportation through other countries to the global markets. We are the third largest importer of oil to the European Union now, after Norway and the United States, or sometimes it's the United States and Norway, and then Kazakhstan. We export our oil mostly via Russia, via various pipelines, and then by tankers from the Black Sea port of Novorossiysk. It is not sanctioned, and it is important that it stays so, and we understand from our colleagues in the European Union that they understand very well the distinction between Kazakh oil and Russian origin oil in the numerous sanction packages that the European Union has adopted and perhaps will be adopting even in the near future. So Kazakhstan is, as I said, an important source of energy resources for the European Union, mostly oil and uranium, because we are the largest supplier of uranium to France, where, as you know, 80% of electricity is produced in nuclear power plants. And Kazakhstan has 45% of the global natural uranium market in the world. So it's by far the largest producer and exporter of natural uranium in the world. We don't produce that much gas. You asked about gas. We don't produce that much gas, and whatever we produce, we consume domestically. So if there is a potential for expansion, it's in oil and in uranium.
We have a question from Mr. Fernand Schmitz, who's a lawyer in Brussels and an admirer of your country. But he says, could you explain to us a little bit the present situation of human rights in Kazakhstan?
Sure. Well, thank you so much for this question. Well, Kazakhstan, a country of slightly less than 35 years old, has always worked to strengthen and improve the human rights protection system. We are now in the final stages of preparing for a national referendum, which will take place on Sunday, the 15th of March, basically in 10 days, on a new constitution with the human rights being put front and center of this constitution, and the protection of human rights as the fundamental principle of this of the organization of the state. So, I mean, we are a developing democracy. There are still a lot of issues that we need to address, but I think it is important to underline that this focus on the human rights protection on a person and personal rights is the fundamental thing that drives the policy making in Kazakhstan. And I hope that our people will further support this drive and vote for the constitution. Among other things, it states that Kazakhstan is a country that is that is built on the principle of law and order, and a country where we build a just and fair Kazakhstan where no one is left behind.
Thank you, Mr. Ambassador. You know that here in Europe we are confronted with a big conflict in Ukraine, and I was wondering, would your country could play a mediation role, a mediator role in such a conflict, as your country has good relationship with our countries, has good relationship with Russia? Could it play a mediator in some way?
Our president has made our position on this very tragic war in Ukraine very clear. We stand for the immediate return to the diplomatic track, to the resolution of this conflict through negotiations, through the peaceful resolution. Kazakhstan indeed has good relations with Russia, with Ukraine, with the West. We have made it clear that if our services are needed, we are there to offer our good offices. We did host in the past several negotiations between international actors, for example, between Armenia and Azerbaijan, or between the 6 negotiators and Iran when it was still relevant and when Joint Comprehensive Plan of Action was negotiated. So, yeah, Kazakhstan has this reputation of a bridge builder. We are prepared to play this role. If these countries need our role, we are there to help.
Thank you. We in Belgium we have regularly trade missions to foreign countries, and what are the plans for this year, Mr. Ambassador? Are there some important mission foreseen on the economic side from Belgium to your country, or from your country to Belgium?
Yes, thank you for this question. There is a very important mission to Kazakhstan coming later this year. I can't say at which level, but I said it almost when I said very important. So, and such visits are traditionally accompanied by CEOs of Belgian-based companies. So we are working with our Belgian partners at the federal level and at the level of the 3 regions to compose such a trade mission. So with Belgium, our trade is also growing. It's at about $500 million. There are about 100 Belgian companies working in Kazakhstan, mostly, by the way, in most significant ones of those, most famous ones of those are in logistics and logistics-related matters such as Sarens or Alers or Yandenul. But we have newcomers such as Plenipotentiary, which opened its branch in Kazakhstan recently. So we also expect numerous visits this way, including perhaps at the presidential level. So surely it will be accompanied on such visits will be accompanied by trade missions, by business captains. So we look forward to staying in touch with you, to organizing some events, some meetings with those companies that are interested in doing business with Kazakhstan from Belgium or from China that are based in Belgium.
Thank you. You can be sure of our support for such initiatives, of course. Last question. When we speak about Belgian companies going to Kazakhstan, do you see some opportunities for some Kazakh companies to come to our countries, eventually in the logistics sector, or as also an entry port to Europe?
Yes, and in fact, we see some, and we help those companies to do exactly that. There are companies that have visited and have established contacts with Liège, which is of course a major cargo hub in Belgium and in Europe. We are interested in establishing direct ties with the port of Antwerp and the port of Aktau, and there are in fact efforts to establish such ties. Also, when we talk about companies, we should also mention universities. And in the past week alone, I had the pleasure and honor of visiting universities in Ghent, of Antwerp, and of Liège, as well as the Brussels Diplomatic Academy here. And we talk about extending cooperation, not just in terms of exchange of students and professors, but also joint research, including with including in logistics area with, for example, Center for Maritime and Air Transport at the University of Antwerp. So there are also Kazakh companies that are interested in directly exporting their agricultural products to Belgium, rather than using some intermediaries in other EU countries. And we have helped those companies establish such contacts with the Belgian importers. There are also companies that are interested in Belgian solutions in defense, in drone technology, in high security technologies, etc., etc. So this field is very, very promising. It just requires a lot of work. So that's exactly what our embassy is here for. If you or your colleagues have any ideas, suggestions, we are always open.
Thank you, Mr. Ambassador. I'm always happy to listen to you, because to listen to a passionate person is always nice, and it gives us also more energy. So, Mr. Ambassador, I wanted to thank you very much for your expose, for spending time with us. I would invite our members when going to Asia to stop in Kazakhstan, because there are also a lot of opportunities offered by your country, and also they have now the possibility to have a nice meal or breakfast at Pain Quotidien in Kazakhstan. We hope that we can stay in touch with you, and we will also follow carefully the high-level mission that will take place this year in your country. So, Mr. Ambassador, Excellency, thank you very much. Wish you a very happy and fruitful year for the coming months, and hope to stay in touch with you. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much. Thank you very much. Much appreciated. Again, our doors are open. We are available in any way, and please, if you indeed think of Kazakhstan, think of our embassy here. We will be more than happy to help.
Thank you very much. Yes.
Thank you. Thank you.
Goodbye.
Bye-bye. Bye-bye.